And this is where I had to break it down for him a little bit. I had to hurt his feelings. I didn't really want to do it, but I'm just like, you getting out of hand. Like, you really getting out of line. I was like, I don't know why someone like you is watching content from people like them. You, first of all, don't have the same money as them. You don't have the same lifestyle as them.
Wow.
You don't have the resources they have, and you don't have the platform they have. So why the is someone like you being...
Woo. Oh, we got to get active on this one here today. Let me roll up my sleeves for this one. Guys, for the content piece today, matter of fact, let's just go down up in there and see what we got cooking. All right. Now, the video for today comes from a TikToker by the name of Earthbound Babe. Within this video, which is going viral right now, you'll see here 173,000 likes, which means millions and millions of views, 4,000 comments. But within this video that she has titled Manosphere Content Influenced My Ex-Boyfriend, she is speaking about her prior relationship. The boyfriend started to watch Kevin Samuels, and then how the relationship went awry. All right, so let's get in there, see what she has to say, and drop our 2 cents. Without further ado.
Have y'all ever had a relationship fail because of the type of content that your boyfriend was watching? I just saw this girl, and I'm gonna tag her below, and she was talking about how she lost her boyfriend to red pill content. Well, I basically lost my boyfriend to manosphere content, and that was the beginning of the end. I didn't know it though. One day I came home.
It's interesting that she disambiguates manosphere from red pill content, which lets me know that she really doesn't understand the things that we talk about and comes at it from more of an adversarial perspective. But let's listen.
I was in my vanity room. Okay, I have a room just for myself with my clothes and my makeup. In that room, I have a TV. One day, my ex, he comes in my room where I'm decompressing, mind you. And he goes on my TV and he says, baby, I want you to watch this creator with me. Okay. And I said, oh, okay. Because at this point, me and him have been together for about a good 3 years. So I feel like when he was suggesting content to me, it's because he thought that I also might enjoy it. So I said, oh, okay. What type of content does he make? And he says, well, he comes on his platform and he invites women on there and he basically argues with them. And I shit y'all not, the first question that came out of my mouth after he said that was, is he gay? Because in my mind, I don't know an actual real man who goes out about his way to argue with a woman just to tell her about herself. Because
it's beyond funny to me that she assumes that the boyfriend is just bringing her content that she'll like. Meanwhile, the boyfriend is questioning, contemplating the reality of the 3-year relationship that he is in, is trying to use Kevin as a way to spark discussion. Little does he know she don't want to have no goddamn discussion. But guys, did you hear the response to argue with women, which I would agree is a little bit weird, but I don't think Kevin would argue with women. Kevin would just simply break down the real reasons that the women were single, not finding a high value man, and his goal was to help, not tear down. Did he have unconventional means of doing so? I would say yes, but only if they got out of pocket first. Then he would utilize it for entertainment value. All the man did was match the energy that was being given to him, but he did it with truth and logic behind every word. But notice how the first thing that she thinks of is he gay? Let's go.
Because in my reality, okay, that don't happen, right? I didn't grow up with men who were around me that did that type of shit. And the ones that did do that type of shit, they were gay. So that's why I asked that question. He starts to laugh and he's like, nah, he's not gay. It's just that he likes to debate. He likes to go back and forth with the women and tell them how they're wrong. And I was like, okay, just go ahead and put it on. This motherfucker gonna put on Kevin Samuels. Mind you, I did not know who the hell he was at that point. And most people didn't know who he was at that point because he didn't blow up yet. He puts him on. And mind you, I'm just listening because I'm not watching. I'm taking off my makeup and shit. I'm hearing the content. I'm just like, I look at my ex at one point. I'm just like, can you take him off my TV, please? So my ex just starts to laugh and he's like, oh, well, you don't like him? I'm like, hell no, I don't like him. Of
course, yeah.
And then I start to like question him, like, why the would I like him?
Yeah.
So fast forward. Me and my ex get into an argument. So we get into this fight and basically he asked me why I wouldn't do something, like, or why I wasn't like taking him serious or paying attention to him about some shit he was trying to say. I can't really remember, but I told him I cannot take you seriously because you don't pay any of my bills.
Oh.
That's why I'm not taking shit that you're saying
Hold
seriously.
on.
This
If I was a young brother, especially after listening to all of Kevin's content, that should be the final straw, right? She is giving you all of the information that you need to do damage with. But that's exactly what the problem is with these types of women. The moment that they start earning more than a man, then the respect vanishes. It begins to disappear. Listening to a man is one of the smallest signs of respect, but we require respect. And when that's gone, as what was represented right here within the relationship, then the relationship is over, whether or not y'all realize it or not. These types of women will dominate these weaker-backed men. By the way, many of these men come down into the sector because it's just like, why won't my woman respect me? Everything that I've been taught about how to treat a woman seems to have been a lie. So then they'll Google some shit and then YouTube will pop up and see my shining ass face. But yet one of the main reasons why these type of women do not gel correctly with masculine men. But let's proceed.
I'm gonna say, this is why women end up alone. I say, what women do you know that are ending up alone? He was like, that's the shit that I see when I'm watching those videos. Because he started to watch just not only Kevin, but he was watching, other influencers who had the same type of content. So I told him, this is where I had to break it down for him a little bit. And I had to hurt his feelings. I didn't really want to do it, but I'm just like, you getting out of hand. Like, you really getting out of line. I was like, I don't know why someone like you is watching content from people like them. You, first of all, don't have the same money as them. You don't have the same lifestyle as them.
Wow.
You don't have the resources they have, and you don't have the platform they have. So why the is someone like you being influenced by someone like that?
Notice how she's talking to him.
A grown-ass man.
Belittling him.
Almost into his 30s, because at this point he was like 29, 28 or something like that. Almost into his 30s, you're listening to another grown man. You don't have your own ideology set. You don't have your own morals and values to follow.
Wow.
You're letting somebody else that don't even knows that you exist.
He can't be coached.
And you're a grown-ass man. You try to say you're a grown-ass man. That's crazy. I didn't understand that. I really didn't. Because, yeah, social media is fun, but I cannot say I've ever been influenced by a creator on here. Because,
that's a lie.
Bitch, if you're trying to sell me some shit and I don't want it, I'm going to keep scrolling. If it sounds like some shit that don't sound right, I'm going to let you know it don't sound right.
Yeah, no, this is complete and utter bullshit, ma'am. How dare you say you've not been influenced when it's clear by the size that I'm seeing before me that you've been influenced by not only McDonald's, but Burger King, but also KFC, and yet also Pizza Hut at the same damn time. The absolute nerve of you to belittle the person that you're in a relationship with as he tries to talk to you about your ability to actively listen. Not even do the things that he's saying, but just actively listen to him. This is like saying every athlete ever should not have a coach. This is like saying every student ever should not have an educator or a teacher. This man is cross-referencing your abhorrent behavior and the way that you talk to him and treat him versus what he should expect out of a relationship. And one thing that I've always said, and Kevin always says, if they have razor demon serpent tongues like this one, where they can't help but to degrade you, leave them on the streets from whence they came. You know what's interesting about this big-backed, high-calories conversation as well is that I specifically remember Kevin talking to a young woman that actually looks very much like her in regards to what she felt that she was at within the dating marketplace.
Would you consider yourself to be average, above average, mediocre, below average?
Where I'm at right now, I would say average. Because
okay.
I'm not working.
So I need you to understand something. You're 28?
Mm-hmm.
28 with 2 children, and one of us an infant, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're 5'5", almost 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
If that ain't below average, I don't know what is, and you call it average. Where in the world is a woman 5'5" and almost 300 pounds with 2 children and unmarried anything about average?
You're talking about physicality, though.
No, yes, because yes, I am. That's right, because it matters to men.
Yeah, and I'm sure it does. I can pull guys like nothing. I mean, that doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
Birds of the delusional feather seem to flock together.
But it's hardly ever I get influenced by somebody on here. And this grown-ass man wants me to take him serious. The one that's getting influenced by somebody. The one that don't pay bills. You want me to take you serious? What the I said you need to stop listening to the motherfucker because they got you fucked up. And now you got me fucked up. He just shut the fuck up. He didn't say nothing else. He didn't say shit after that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to you when I get home. And I hung up. And that was the end of that conversation.
The reason that he shut up is that it should have clicked for him. There was something in between what you're saying and then what we say over here in men-centric, men-focused content where he knows that the relationship is completely done. If he is the type of one that is not the main contributor to the majority of bills that are in and around the house, the sector, then he more than likely just realized that he selected relationship before he was ready as a man. So there is degrees within that where he does need to improve his situation. If he's a couch potato with Cheetos and shit running down his face while he overconsumes video games all day, then yeah, he absolutely needs to improve his situation, and he needs to practice isolation in order to be able to do that, because he will not be able to do that within the confines of relationship of a witch mouth like this. Let's go.
I should have known that that was going to be a problem. Okay. Now, another thing too, if you have a boyfriend that has, and this is not all of them. This is not all of them. This was just the one that I had. And there are many others that are like him. Okay. So please don't get this confused. Do not run with this shit. Okay. Sometimes men, where they have an absence of a father in their life, if he sees a man talking about things that other men respond well to, then he will also try to adopt their ideas, adopt that behavior. Because they think that a man is teaching them something that they don't know.
This is not a man thing. This is a human behavior thing. Men do this with other men. Women do this with other women. The way that she's trying to propose this is that like men are inherently weak. This is that feminist shit. They're weak, so then they'll find someone online to try to teach them something that they haven't, which men finding something online, right? Like you could get a whole college degree online, right? And I'm not comparing what I do over here to a college degree. I'm just saying people can go online to try to find out or figure out shit. You can't access AI unless you're online. But this is a people thing. He's continuously learning and realizing that he went about this completely wrong. And thank God he figured all of this out before getting down on bended knee for a woman that loves to put a man under her thumb and put her balls out on the table while tucking his in her purse. Let's go.
Because they didn't have one growing up. So now they're looking for that. Is what I'm trying to say. I hope I said that right. My thing is this, though. If you're going to listen to them type of people, you got to make sure everything else in your life matches up with them too. Okay, not just your mentality about women. You got to make sure your finances match up. You got to make sure your looks match up. You got to make sure all the decisions that you make in your life got to match up with theirs too. See, it's more than just having, an influenced mind, right? If you really feel
shout out to the
like how that
bros.
person feels and you want your life to reflect that, you want to move how they move, you got to have your whole life looking just like how theirs look. And his life wasn't looking like that. Okay, like I said, he wasn't doing anything other than the bare minimum. And I really do feel like that was the beginning of the end. Tip of the iceberg. Also, it's no shade to Kevin Samuels. I know that man passed away. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but that was part of my story. Also, I do want to say this, okay? I saw some comments in my last video.
We gonna go over the comments.
They were saying I was rage baiting. Bitch, this ain't no rage baiting. I told you what the happened and I left. I hardly even responded to most of the comments on there because most people thought that I was just saying shit just because I wanted to get reactions. No, I gave my confessional, my testimonial, and I left. Like, there really is nothing else, to rage bait about. I told y'all a story that happened to me, and that's it.
I don't know.
But yeah, y'all.
Okay. We're going to go over the comment section because the comment section is a whole nother beast of this video, as you can imagine, because it's gotten millions and millions of views. But let me also retouch on that last point as well. And what she's also talking about is one of the major problems when the majority of the men are being raised by single mothers. So many of them grow up only to be judged and rejected by the same type of woman that raised them. And it's almost as if they get attracted to this domineering type of personality because they watched their first love, their mother, exhibit this with them and exhibit this with other men within their lives as she was dating. And it's almost like some of them get just attracted to the toxicity of that malformed situation. They get attracted to the toxicity. They get attracted to getting belittled, being told that they're not man enough or that they will not amount to the person that it is that they are listening to. But what's interesting about that dynamic is that when these men start to call out some of this nonsense, then they are the ones that are actually blamed for not having fathers, which is so ironic within it. Absolutely diabolical. Listening to a conversation like this and at least understanding a component of their relationship dynamics, at least towards the end, helps me understand why the marriage rate is going down, because it's people reaffirming their correct positioning as well as their correct roles. It also makes me think that the divorce rate will stop going up. Why? Because less incompatible people will be getting married to begin with, because many of these men that get down on bended knee do not understand, number one, the ill fate that they might receive, whether it be in the family court system, if a divorce was to occur, which happens in 50% of all marriages, or B, they're more formally able to understand the behavior types and the characteristics of a young lady that would be a fantastic wife to have. Now let's go down into the comment section.
Most people
and
thought that I
see
was just saying
the
shit.
complete and utter malarkey. Trigger alert as well. It's pretty violent down there. And then Kevin Samuels died alone. These nasty, dirty wenches. 20,000 likes is absolutely insane. You know you was doing something right when you had this many damn haters. He did not die alone. He died unmarried, if you want to say that, but he did not die alone. I don't know why these harpies continue to perpetuate this lie. Dingaling says manosphere content is red pill content. Let's just keep going. Does he know that Kevin Samuels died alone in a hotel room and was found by a sex worker he had hired? This is like so insane reading this shit. It absolutely wasn't a sex worker. This is absolutely not true. And in fact, I talked with Kevin the day before he passed. We actually had a conversation. We had a few conversations in regards to the young lady that was with him at the time of his event. And he was seriously vetting and considering this young lady. He would have not done so if he thought that she was a SW. Anyway, mind you, Kevin Samuels said that men should pay for anything, but they always skip those videos. They just watch the ones about women. Couldn't have said it better myself. You can't lose your boyfriend to manosphere content. Manosphere content saved you from a man whose character is as shaky as a belly dancer. I could say the same thing in reverse. Save the young man from potentially proposing to a serpent-tongued young lady. And the crazy comments just go on. Let me see another one that has a lot of likes. This one has 26,000 likes. Let's go over and take a look at it. It's crazy how impressionable they are. Well, uppity African, my response to that is that if a man is feeling not well within a situation, especially a relationship situation, and if he goes out and he tries to find information in order to try to understand the genjutsu that he's currently in, does it make it impressionable? Or is he looking for information in order to upgrade his life? And within that, he's trying to have conversations with a young lady that obviously has lost respect for him a long time ago. And I'm glad that he was able to find at least Kevin to diagnose all of the bullshit. These women will see a young woman speaking to and about a past relationship, a man in a past relationship, and none of their signals go up at all because this is normalized to them. This behavior is normalized to them. These are the same women that'll call a man narcissistic. Meanwhile, you go back into their post history and they utilize sign language as if it's the second language that they ever learned within their life. These women are just pissed that there's a large cohort of men out there that are beginning to understand more about their expectations that they should have for women, but then not only that, but then expectations of themselves. Just as the prior content says, no one ever creates hate content that Kevin was talking about, that Kevin also mentioned that men should pay for everything. So if he was to listen to that content and to cross-reference in his situation, I'm glad that he got out of it because he knew that he started out on the wrong foot. Anyway, if you guys light up the comment section, I'll bring this conversation live and we can deep dive. We can go in for a formal understanding. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Me, go to turtlesandreviews@gmail.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself here today within this treacherous content, because I know that I did. Stay safe out there. Until next time, y'all. Peace! And RIP to the GOAT. Miss you, friend.
You is ratchet as they come. Rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back it? Said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker. Are you mad? Cause you got 3 kids by 4 different dads. You pick cookies, then you bash. Oh man, when you get sad, then